Hi, I'm Andrea Renee Moore, here to bring you another yoga tip from beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado. Today's yoga tip is looking at the pose Downward Facing Dog. Downward Facing Dog is an important pose in your yoga practice, but it's also one of the more difficult poses to master. We'll look at a few different ways to work on this posture today. Starting on the floor with the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Come into a tabletop position with the back flat and the gaze just ahead of you by about 2 feet. Tuck the toes under and firmly planting the hands, push the floor away, lifting the hips up and back. With straight arms, begin the pose with the heels raised. Bending the knees if the back of the legs are tight. One way you can begin to loosen the backs of the legs is to come up onto tippy toes. Bend one knee as you reach the other heel to the floor. And switch, walking back and forth. And coming up to a raised heel position, bending the knees if you need to. Lengthening the spine is the most important part of this pose. So firmly plant the hands to push the hips up and back to lengthen the spine. Let the head simply hang between the upper arms. Take a few breaths, coming back to the knees when you need a rest. If this pose is too strenuous, we can also take the same posture at the wall. To take downward dog at the wall, simply come to a wall with the feet hip-width apart and take the hands to the wall. Walk the feet back until you're roughly in an L shape. Let the head hang between the upper arms and firmly press the hands. Taking downward dog this way is helpful when you're rehabilitating from a shoulder injury or surgery. It's also much less strenuous, so it's a great way to get some openness in the upper spine until you're ready to try downward dog on the floor. Take 3 or more breaths. Draw the navel back towards the spine, but without holding the breath. Let the breath continue to flow easily. Straighten the elbows. Strengthen the legs. And when you're ready to come out of the pose, simply look up and walk the feet in. If you would like to take a yoga class, or if you have any questions about today's yoga tip, you can call me at 719-239-0939 or check out my website, www.innerharmonium.com. Thank you. Namaste.